Hey everybody, it's Julian, the lead dev and creator of Lens Island. Welcome back to the Dev Diaries. It's been a long time since we've had like an actual behind the scenes dev diary for Lens Island. The old ones were on the Flow Studio channel. Everything's on the Lens Island channel now. We have so much to go over because I am just going to completely lift the lid on everything we've been working on. This is going to be crazy for anyone that's interested in Lens Island. You are going to see a whole bunch of stuff that you have never seen before or never even heard us talk about before. There's a lot of new content coming. Maybe we'll just like put up a bunch of words on the screen. Everything around me, this is what you can look forward to in this video. Crazy amount of stuff. Some of the stuff we'll show, some of them, you know, big spoilers and stuff, we'll save till later in a different video. So sharks are one of the new things in Lens Island. Also, all this stuff's still work in progress. Like pretty much nothing that I'm showing is 100% done. Okay, we have the shark. We've located it. He's just chilling now, currently. So you can see he's locked in. As I got sort of close, the shark is now aware of my presence on my boat. So sharks can make fishing a little bit difficult at times, and they sort of circle. So once they get close enough, they start circling you, basically going for the kill. So that's how they know when a shark's circling you, you need to sort of get out because something will happen at some point soon. So we'll let him circle us for a second. And they actually bite your boat, and they basically can actually throw you off the boat into the water, which is exactly where you don't want to be, because if you're in the water, then they can bite you. And they do, a lot of damage. So let's quickly jump up. You can damage sharks, you can actually kill them, and you can get some stuff from them. I'm not going to show you too much more. I'm just going to keep it at that. That shark hurt a lot. And now let's go to chickens. So there are so many farming items to do with chickens. One thing is a chicken coop. So you can now build chicken coops. I'm not going to show you how these work just yet, but obviously you can farm chickens. And that will be a big part of the new update. You can actually have farm animals. Okay, I've got a command, and when I press it, it should spawn 50 chickens. Okay, it works. so currently 50 chickens in a giant circle around me. And you can see now they're all starting to hone in on my location. And they're all just gonna get scared and run away when I get too close. But chickens are a thing. You can feed them, you can farm them, you can have them free roaming around your island. You will find them around different islands in the world, and then you can breed them and do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, bit of fun. Chickens are coming to Lens Island. Okay, now while we're here with our chickens, we spotted some deers. Where were they? Little pack of deers. It used to be really annoying to hunt deers. Ignore all my cheating tools. Until now. So this is a really big deal. What I got in my hands, this right here. I know, all of you have been asking for this for a very long time. Bows. There are now bows, ranged weapons in Lens Island. You can hunt. So I can see this deer, I can select it, I can track it. Bam. I can shoot. I think I actually hit something. I think I hit a chicken in front of the deer then. Bam, got it. And they will actually run away. And there's a crit system for bows. I actually got lucky there and hit some shots. But you can see if I zoom in, the crit marker. So if you time it perfectly, you can get crits like this. I'll try to get this deer here. That's why zooming out is also, since we have the camera controls, it's really, really nice to sort of zoom out, because then you can, especially like the super zoomed out mode, really good for like these long shots. But yeah, it's not super easy. Like it's definitely easier than sorting the deer. Oh, bam! Look at that. But because you have to try to aim, you have to try to hit the crits at the same time if you're trying to get the crits. So it is definitely there's a bit of skill to like perfect bow mechanics. But bows are coming to Lens Island. This is just one basic, like the very first simple hunting bow. You can just shoot freely. So the way they work is basically shoot wherever your mouse is, and it'll sort of auto lock onto things. You know, you see that sort of crosshair when let's find like a chicken or something. Oh, there's another deer here. See how there's like that crosshair. So if you find like an enemy or an animal or something and you hover over them, then it'll sort of lock onto them. And then you just have to keep tracking your sort of mouse. The bows obviously work with controller support and also like different kind of aiming modes as well. But this is a really big deal. This obviously doesn't just include hunting. This is just dungeons and just the whole game. You got bows now. So the sun is setting currently in our little world here. I'm just going to build a little house, go to bed, and then I'm going to show you some other stuff. Okay, so we've slept. Something that's pretty big, pretty new is, go to compendium, the skill tree. We've completely remade the skill tree. Looks a bit different, almost looks a bit more reminiscent of the very first skill tree we had in Lens Island, if you remember back then. And the skill tree at first glance seems a bit more interesting, less linear, more choice. So there's sort of like 4 distinct classes or pathways that you can take on the skill tree now. There's a bit more sort of pacifist farmer pathway, the explorer pathway, which is definitely a bit more towards fighting. There is just a straight up assassin pathway, which is really heavily towards fighting. And then there's also the more like crafter, builder, gatherer sort of pathway. And the skill tree is a lot more impactful. All the different nodes of the skill tree are a lot more impactful to the game, have a bunch of new skills that we've never had before, and a lot of them have several skills. They're sort of big packages of skills. So the way leveling up works in Lens Island now is you level up less. You're not going to get so many levels so quickly, but when you level up, it's a really big deal. And when you spend that skill point, you actually are really making these big, meaningful changes to your character and choosing them. The way the skill tree works, I'm gonna hack some XP. Okay, you can see I just reached level 32 straight away. And I can click one of these skills, I hit unlock, and you can see now it's actually locked the other, temporarily, not forever locked, the other points of the skill tree. And now I have to work my way through the skill tree one at a time. So you can actually basically unlock all of the different classes and unlock the complete skill tree, but you have to sort of make your way around it, and it's going to take a lot more time, a lot more skill points. So there's a lot more decision making and sort of class building. This works really good in multiplayer because that means one friend can sort of focus a bit more on farming, one friend could focus a bit more on fighting, and you can get these really cool sort of complementary sort of skill trees with all of your friends that help benefit each other. There's a lot more to it, and this really feels really interesting when you actually play it yourself. It's not super interesting when I just talk about it, but the skill tree has been completely overhauled, and it's a pretty big deal. So another quick little one, blueprints are now a thing. So previously, for example, to unlock the fishing pole, you would need to purchase it from the town. And then there were certain items throughout the game that you'd purchase from towns. We're not getting rid of item purchasing from the towns. We're actually adding in a whole bunch more items that you can buy from NPCs and find around the world. But the core items that are like the really important ones, such as the torch, the watering can, the fishing rod, the scythe as well, and all of the weapon classes. So what I mean by core weapon classes is like the claymore, the spear, the hammer, and the glaive, and now the bow, and the shield. All of those will actually be accessible from the workbench now. Simply put, you will actually be able to unlock all the different weapon classes really close to the start of the game now. You don't have to wait to unlock the glaive and some of the later weapons much later into the game. We're basically letting you choose which class of weapon you want to use right at the start. And we're also making it a lot easier to sort of progress throughout the early game sort of tools and weapons and stuff like that. Not making them tied to the town anymore, and instead tied to the workbench. It just makes the whole starting progression of the game a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, and a lot more sort of reliable. And you have way more choice for the player. You can actually sort of choose your progression without relying on other things. Man, there's like an army of chickens approaching me currently. The chickens are just like a horde of chickens roaming my map now. But yeah, item blueprints are a thing, and we've reworked how they sort of get unlocked just really at the start of the game. And then towards later into the game, you're going to find all sorts of really cool, unique, exotic items that you've never seen before. Actually, while we're here near the ocean, this is a real easy one. The UI is just in progress, but we still got this little fishing pool. Bam. Really simple quality of life change for all the fishermen out there. It's not completely done. This is a work in progress thing, but you will now be able to hover over any fishing pool in the game and see exactly what fish are in that fishing pool and the chances of catching those fish. Fishing was always felt really unreliable for the player because sometimes you just get unlucky and you get bad odds and you just have a hard time catching a fish. So just simply showing you this information makes a really, really big difference. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna tweak the UI a little bit and we might add some even more information. If you've got any ideas of what we could sort of add to this UI, be sure to leave us some comments. But yeah, that's just like there's a whole bunch of little changes like that all over the game, but I thought you guys would appreciate seeing that one. So the next stuff, we're gonna head to a test scene and sort of outside of the game because I've got some new enemies to show you, which pretty big deal. All right, we're currently in a little test scene, getting chased by a new enemy. So this is the Void Stomper. You're seeing him in the daylight. Usually you'll only see this enemy in the caves, and you can see lots of interesting attacks. This one that completely sends you flying in the air also has this cool spike attack. But this is a new Void Stomper enemy that you're gonna see throughout the dungeons. They're really interesting. They're a bit more tanky than the other enemies. Obviously you've got this pretty brutal attack with these spikes that hurt, and this massive sort of ground pound attack if you get too close, that also just sends you flying. You can easily dodge that attack, so like if I get close, you can roll and dodge it. But these guys are pretty spicy, fun new enemies. Not too hard to take down. They're definitely more tanky than the Voids and some of the other enemies. But they're really dangerous in the caves because they just send you flying off the edge of the map if you're not careful. So they're a really important new enemy because they make a pretty big difference to the sort of the strategy in the dungeons and add a lot more enemy variety. They're also not the only enemy we're adding. So let's go down to the caves and I'll show you some new cave areas. Okay, we're now down in the caves and you may see some glowing mushrooms and some weird little cubes and bam. So these are a new cave biome that's in the caves. So there's no enemies currently jumping around. I'm just showing you one portion of this, but there is a bunch of new stuff coming to the caves. There is a new enemy. You can actually sort of see them floating, but they're not moving around or doing anything right now. I want to keep some stuff, you know, a bit of a secret, or we can show you guys a little bit later in, but there are some new cave biomes coming. Slimes are being added to the game. And with slimes come a whole new resource, and that plays into a bunch of other systems. And then these brand new slime piles, which are quite interesting and have some brand new mechanics that haven't been seen before in Lens Island. So keep on the lookout for a bunch of cool new areas in the caves. And we are also working on the slime mega boss, the mega slime. Currently 50-50 if we'll get it into release or not. But we're working on it, hoping to get it out for release, which will be one of the new optional bosses. So we're actually going to add some sort of world bosses to the world of Lens Island, and a gigantic slime will be a potential world boss that we'll add either at 1.0 or soon after. But you'll definitely you'll hear more about it in the coming weeks and months as we go over a lot of stuff towards the game. Just remember, everything I'm showing in this video are just like portions of larger new features. So there's like way more coming than sort of what's in this video, but I just want to sort of show you some visuals and give you a little brief idea of what's coming. Okay, we're back in our testing scene looking up at the sky because I want to show you a brand new building style coming to Lens Island. Bam, the Gothic Manor building style as requested. This is just a little test building that we just set up and just to sort of preview and show you guys sort of what it looks like. So this will be actually a little DLC building pack that'll be available at 1.0 release. So if you're a builder and you love a whole bunch of building styles and to build cool stuff, this will just cost you like a couple of bucks. Like, it'll be super cheap. That is something that you'll be able to pick up. We spent a long time developing this, and it was actually based on a community vote too. So I'm really excited to see some builds made with this. Another fun little thing we're adding is just a little thing, but it actually makes a big difference for building and sort of creative things you can do with builds. Are pillars, like just a single pillar design. Is sort of like the archways, except just one pillar post. You'll be able to build single pillars throughout your bases. There's also a couple other new base parts coming. There's been long requested foundation step corners, which we're working on now as well. So we plan to add more base building parts sort of after 1.0 as well. But building, we'll get a whole new building style for the people that want to pick up that at 1.0. And then there will be some also like the pillar and some other new stuff added for building, as well as like a bunch of new like machines and farming equipment and a whole bunch of other stuff to build too. Okay, so I think I'll probably keep it there. I know I said every new feature coming to Lens Island. And this is definitely a video where we're just showing and just telling you every new feature coming to Lens Island. All the text you saw at the start of the video and the text that will repeat here around my body or something like that. This is everything new that is coming. And I wanted to show as much as possible of that in this video. But there is a lot of that that's going to be really big spoilers for people. Also some content that we're still working on that's not, you know, in a good state to show people. And there's some stuff, you know, we just want to keep up our sleeves. We want to be a little bit of a surprise. We also have some big reveals coming up soon. One in particular, a very big reveal video coming out in the coming months. So I'll shed some more light on that too as we get closer. But hopefully this is interesting and you're all super excited, because I am very, very excited. There's a ton of really cool new stuff coming to Lens Island. We're expanding Lens Island in every single way. There's more content coming as far as like more dungeons and more progression in the game, but there's more content just filling out the whole world. The whole world just feels so much more alive. And this is also just scratching the surface, what I've sort of shown in this video. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that we have that we've either made or we're trying to fit in for 1.0 that we're sort of 50-50 about. Just to like name a couple random of those sorts of features, like the slime boss, like I said, jellyfish throughout the ocean, whirlpools in the ocean, some changes to the town system, and also some new NPCs, new stuff to buy from the vendors, things like that. There's like a lot of different changes that we've sort of done to the world. A system that I didn't even actually touch on was a whole ancient language system. So there's the whole new points of interest we've added all over the world to get new items, but also learn the language of the ancients, which also sheds a lot more light on the story. And yeah, and that's completely disregarding that it's multiplayer. Like Lens Island's gonna be multiplayer, which is crazy. But yeah, there's so much to talk about, so much to show. So I hope this was fun and interesting for all of you and sort of scratches that itch a little bit. We are bringing back the Dev Diaries regularly, so we're going to be posting a whole bunch of behind the scenes content consistently in between now and full release later into the year. So not late this year, just later into the year. It's coming soon. We'll reveal the date and all that sort of stuff when the time comes. But Lens Island 1.0 multiplayer will be releasing this year, and it's not too long to wait. And there's heaps of cool new stuff coming, including all the stuff I just showed you. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.